Bruno and the Shadow of the Signet. Chapter 1. The Betrayal. In the golden halls of the palace, Bruno was known as the most honest servant in the kingdom. Every morning, he polished the Duke's magnificent signet ring until it shone like a fallen star. But from the shadows of the great pillars, Gaston watched with eyes full of envy. Gaston did not care for honesty. He only cared for power, and he hated how much the Duke trusted Bruno. That night, while the castle slept, Gaston crept into Bruno's small, humble room. He moved like a ghost, his boots making no sound on the stone floor. He pulled the stolen signet ring from his pocket and tucked it deep inside Bruno's heavy work boot. Gaston smiled a jagged, cruel smile, knowing that by morning, Bruno's life of service would be over. The sun rose to the sound of shouting. Duke Leopold was furious, for his finger was bare and his seal was gone. Gaston was the first to speak, his voice dripping with false concern. "My lord," Gaston whispered, "I saw Bruno lingering near your chambers late last night. Perhaps his honesty is merely a mask for a thief's heart." The palace guards marched to Bruno's room, led by the stern Captain Garrick. Bruno stood confused as they tossed his belongings aside. Then, with a cry of triumph, Garrick pulled the signet ring from the boot. Bruno's heart sank like a stone in a well. "I did not take it," he cried, but the guards seized his arms and dragged him toward the depths of the castle. Bruno was taken to the Tower of Forgetfulness, a place where the walls were thick and the light was thin. The heavy iron door groaned as it closed, locking him away from the world he loved. He sat on the cold straw floor, his head in his hands. He was an honest man in a dishonest world, and it seemed the shadows had finally won. Chapter 2. The Tiny Alley. Days turned into weeks in the damp silence of the dungeon. Bruno's only comfort was the small crust of rye bread he received each afternoon. One evening, as he prepared to eat his meager meal, he heard a faint sound, a delicate scritch-scratch against the stone. A pair of tiny, bright eyes peeped out from a crack in the wall. Most men would have shooed the creature away, but Bruno felt a kinship with the small wanderer. "Are you hungry too, little one?" he whispered. He broke his bread in two and held out the larger half. The rat, whom Bruno named Scritch, hesitated and then scurried forward, taking the offering with tiny, trembling